In the high-stakes game of NFL roster management, every decision can tip the scales toward victory or setback. And the Cincinnati Bengals have just made some intriguing moves that might just electrify their defense. But here's where it gets interesting. These changes aren't just routine. They could spark debates about player values and team strategies that leave fans buzzing long after the announcements. Dive in with me as we break down the latest Bengals roster updates, clarifying the ins and outs for newcomers to the NFL world, and see why these shifts might be more controversial than they appear at first glance. Let's start by unpacking what these moves entail. First up, the Bengals have officially welcomed linebacker Joe Giles-Harris from their practice squad onto the active roster. For those new to football lingo, the practice squad is like a farm team, a group of talented players who practice with the main squad but aren't on the official roster yet, often waiting for their shot. Giles-Harris, in his second year in the league, began this season on that practice squad for the first 7 games before being called up to the active list for their matchup against the New York Jets in Game 8. This elevation could be seen as a vote of confidence in his abilities, especially as the Bengals navigate injuries and performances mid-season. And this is the part most people miss. Elevations like this are temporary boosts, but they often reveal a player's readiness to step into bigger roles. Could this be Giles-Harris's breakout moment, or is it setting him up for future disappointment? Shifting gears, the Bengals have parted ways with defensive end Myles Cole from their practice squad. As a second-year player, Cole joined Cincinnati's squad on September 9th and contributed during those initial 7 games. Releases like this highlight the tough choices teams face. Practice squad spots are limited, and with only a handful available, it's a cutthroat environment. Imagine it as a competitive audition. Cole gave it his all, but now the spotlight turns to others. But here's where the controversy heats up. Is cutting a player like Cole a smart strategic move to make room for fresh talent, or does it overlook potential that could resurface elsewhere? Fans often clash on these decisions, debating whether loyalty or performance should win out. Now, adding some depth to their lineup, the Bengals have brought in linebacker Liam Anderson to the practice squad. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches and 230 pounds, Anderson is a rookie straight out of the College of the Holy Cross. He entered the NFL as a college free agent with the Indianapolis Colts in 2023, but saw limited action, playing in just 4 games across his first 2 seasons while spending most of his time on the Colts practice squad. The Colts waived him on August 12th, leaving him without a team for the first 8 weeks of this season. For beginners, understanding waivers is key. It's a process where teams release players, making them available for other teams to claim, much like a player draft in reverse. Anderson's journey exemplifies the grind of NFL careers, where persistence pays off. And this is the part most people miss. With his collegiate pedigree and practice squad experience, could Anderson become an unsung hero? Or are these moves just patchwork for deeper issues in the Bengals' defense? Finally, bolstering their options even further, the Bengals have signed linebacker Asamoah II to the practice squad. At 6 feet 1 inch and 230 pounds, Asamoah is a veteran in his 4th year, having graduated from the University of Oklahoma. Originally a 3rd-round pick by the Minnesota Vikings in 2022, he appeared in 46 games over 3 seasons, 2022 to 2024, racking up 20 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and an additional 10 tackles on special teams. He spent the first 8 weeks of this season on the Las Vegas Raiders practice squad. Stats like these are crucial for fans to appreciate. Forced fumbles and recoveries show a player's ability to disrupt plays, turning potential touchdowns into turnovers. Asamoah's track record suggests he could add real value, perhaps by mentoring younger linebackers or stepping in during crucial moments. But here's where it gets controversial. In a league where experience is gold, signing a player with proven stats like Asamoah's might seem like a no-brainer. Yet some argue it distracts from developing in-house talent. Could this be a sign the Bengals are playing it safe, or is it a shrewd investment in reliability? These roster tweaks aren't just numbers on a page. They're the heartbeat of team building in the NFL, where every addition and subtraction can influence playoff dreams. By expanding with these newcomers, the Bengals might be addressing weaknesses at linebacker, a position key for stopping the run and covering passes. Take, for example, how a strong linebacker core can turn the tide in games. Think of legendary duos like the Chicago Bears' Mike Singletary and Otis Wilson in the 1980s, who anchored defenses with relentless tackles and game-changing plays. Yet, the debate rages on. Are these moves enough to elevate the Bengals from contenders to champions? Or do they highlight a reliance on external fixes rather than internal growth? What do you think, fellow fans? Do these signings signal a bold strategy that could pay off in the playoff push? Or are there risks in prioritizing veterans over homegrown stars? And here's a thought-provoking twist. In an era of salary caps and roster limits, should teams focus more on player development than quick fixes? I'd love to hear your opinions. Agree, disagree, or share your own takes on Bengals decisions. Drop a comment below and let's chat about the future of Cincinnati's squad.